Hello everybody and welcome back to Farm Sim 25 and welcome to a brand new start here as a start from scratch on the new Comlands map. Now I did not play this map on Farm Sim 22, so this map is completely new to me, but we've already managed to find a perfect little piece of property, and we are starting with a truck, a trailer, a house, and a garden. And everything else is going to be up to us to figure out. Now, we just finished up a playthrough on the New Frontier logging map, or forestry map, if you guys want to check out that. I got a 64, 65 episode, something like that series, if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out. But this is going to be completely different. As usual, we are going to have some rules. First and foremost, we are not allowed to decrease the time from 2 times speed. Meaning we're going to have to get through the days relatively easy, or like in a decent amount of time, right? This probably won't be an issue early on in the series, but as we get more and more work involved later on, we will be running into, going into potentially nighttime and stuff like that. I'll let you guys decide if you guys want to see more nighttime and stuff. If so, let me know. I'll hit the time limit and speed it up a little bit. But for now, we're going to try 2 times. So we're not allowed to go below 2 times. We're not allowed to take out any loans. We already have I want to say it's a $35,000 loan. Something like that is what we've got to pay off in this one. But basically, I tried to get us as low as possible. Here on console, we don't have the option to take away money directly, at least not that I know of. So I started with 100K, sold off the machinery that they started with on the map. It gives you about $410,000 in the bank. I went ahead and built up a little piece of land with a house, a garden, bought a truck and a trailer. That's it. That's where we're at, right? So we have some land, but without further ado, let's go over the rest of the rules. So no leasing, no contracts, hard economy. Right, you guys know the deal. I want a progression, and I'll be honest. This series seemed like it'd be harder to do it, showcase the progression, just because you have to have so much to get started in the farming side of things that it's really hard to showcase a progression. At least on console, anyway. We don't have access to third-party mods and stuff like that. Everything we have access to is on the Mod Hub itself. So, with all of that being said, we are going to do our best to showcase a progression series, as you guys know. And let's get into our little property here. So right now, we've got this fantastic little bridge here, this old school wooden bridge. I mean, this is straight out of my childhood, man. Down home, we got old railroad bridges and stuff like this. This is just normal. Boards missing, that's just normal for me. So, this just feels like home already. And then we got this nice little quaint house out here in the middle of nowhere. I love this. I ain't gonna lie. These rolling hills immediately, to me, scream cattle farm. And so I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to build a gigantic cattle farm by the time we're done with this. So everything that we do going from here forward is going to be with that goal in mind. But we've got this beautiful little house here. It is perfect. It's not brand new, but it's a nice little house. We get to walk inside. We got our living room here. Shut the door. Maybe. Question mark. Maybe not. Maybe I got to be over here. Good old farming simulator triggers. Got a muffin here just in case you want to eat. I forgot to eat my muffin this morning apparently. But we got our kitchen / dining area. Donuts and muffins as far as the eye can see. You got to have your donuts and muffins. All right. We got our bedroom over here. Perfect little master bedroom. I'm assuming closet. Oh, sorry. We got a master bathroom too. Oh man. Can you tell I haven't actually checked this out? There's our closet. Okay. We got a second master bedroom, or I guess that would be the master bedroom. This would be whatever is not the master bedroom. the guest bedroom, we'll call it that. And then of course a community bath. By community I mean it's the whole house. We have the master bath over there, and then this would be the bathroom. But yeah, we got us a nice, oh my goodness, look at this setup. Holy good Jesus. We got Farm Sim running all over the place. You got a laptop there with triple monitor, a laptop here with double monitor. We going crazy. Going crazy, man. But, yeah. Another bathroom. So we got 3 bathrooms in this little place, huh? Seems excessive for no bigger than it is. But it is a nice little house. And so, yeah, we're already starting off better than we did in New Frontier. You remember in New Frontier, we were sleeping in Bessie for the first couple of episodes. For the first couple of years, really, till we got the cabin built up. Or we put in that trailer, didn't we? But yeah, outside of the house, this is all we got, man. We got this big old garden area here. It's a gorgeous little garden. But yeah, we can open up our gates here. And this actually, back here in this this shed here, this is the role-playing element. Back in the shed, we actually have a buildable greenhouse. So during the winter months, we can put up a greenhouse over top of our plants to protect them from the cold. So that's perfect as well. But we've already got some tomatoes, some lettuce, and some strawberries growing up in here. Just to try to get us our, a little bit to sell, some produce to sell. But it takes seeds, water, fertilizer. We've already brought some seeds and fertilizer down, and like I said, we have a retractable greenhouse for the winter months, which is pretty cute. Look at that. Obviously, that looks silly when it just comes up out the ground like that, but you can just assume or pretend that I went back to the shed, got all the stuff, and it's just a buildable greenhouse, little, basically a tent, right? But during the summer and spring and fall, we'll keep it down, and then in the winter time, we'll put it up. Make sense? And then over here, we've got our little water pump area that's going to supply this greenhouse or this garden with all the water it could ever ask for. And anything else that we might need water for down the line. We've got a pump here that we can fill up barrels. We've got the ability to distribute. So it will be able to fill up pretty much anything that needs water. And then, of course, we've got our truck and trailer. I mean, Lord have mercy. That is definitely an upgrade from Bessie. All right, Bessie was a beast. Did everything we could ever ask out of her. But good Lord, look at that truck. That is a good looking truck. Also, fun fact, if you like a bigger truck, there is on this mod a adjustable trailer hitch. That is amazing. So you can have a little bit of a jacked up truck and still keep your freaking wheels on the ground. What a great concept. I like it. So yeah, we're going to be using this a lot. This is going to be our pride and joy for the foreseeable future. But this is where we start, y'all. And, I mean, honestly, there's not a whole lot for us to do. We don't have a lot of money in the bank. We've got a loan. Let me go over the loan situation so you guys know that I'm not cheating. We got a $35,000 loan that we're going to have to pay off throughout the course of this series. I usually wait until I'm actually making a decent amount of money to start paying off the loan. But the loan is going to be there to help kind of keep us in check as well. But as far as property goes, we did buy some property. We have the property that you see. And then we have the property that is bordering us. So we own 37 and 36, which honestly seems like a lot of land, and it is. But at the same time, it's really not all that much for us because there's not much we can do with it at the moment. You can see this is 18.7 acres. This is 15.7 acres. So between it, I mean, we're looking at, 33, 34 acres between the two. So pretty solid amount of land to start with. But again, we have no equipment to work it. So everything that we're going to get for the short term is coming from this garden. And with all of that being said, let's go ahead and go forward. It's time to go forward in time. Like, there's nothing else for it, right? Like, one of the good things about this series early on is we're going to progress relatively quickly. There ain't a lot of work involved. But we'll go in here and go to sleep. We'll wake up at 10 a.m. Oh, I forgot. It wasn't 10 a.m. yet, so it just went to 10 a.m. on the same day. All right, now it should be September. All right. And now we should have some stuff that we can load up on the trailer and sell off, make a little bit of money. As you can see, we are paying the loan costs and stuff. Oh my goodness, look at the jack-o'-lantern. That is a massive jack-o'-lantern. Circleville would be proud. If you guys don't know Circleville, check out the Circleville Pumpkin Show here in Ohio. That's where I'm from, by the way. I'm not from Circleville, but I'm from Ohio, and my sister lives in Circleville. But let's go ahead and get this stuff loaded up. I know some of you guys will probably be like, well, Spartan, you're not supposed to pick stuff up by hands. To that, I say I appreciate your enthusiasm. But at the same time, all of this stuff would be like loadable by hand into a trailer. You know, just throwing that out there. Like, you wouldn't obviously pick up a full pallet at once, but you would be able to pick up each individual tray and load them into the trailer. And that's what I would call it, you know what I mean? That's what I would say is happening. If you disagree, let me know. So far, I haven't had too many people disagree with it. Later on, if we get to a situation where we're going to have to be picking up lots of, like, heavy stuff, we might add or buy a forklift or a telehandler or something like that. But for the time being, I think this is perfectly reasonable. But this is a pretty good load right out the gate for our first day. I mean, first month of production. Right? So this little garden should be plenty to keep us running for the meantime anyway. I don't know how much money we're going to make on hard economy, but hopefully it's enough to keep the farm running and start to make a little bit of a profit so that we can get closer to buying a tractor and buying some equipment. Obviously, tractor is going to be, you know, first thing we have to look at buying, and I already have a tractor in mind for what I want. And then we've got to, of course, buy a plow of some sort. We've got to get a seeder. I don't know exactly what we want to start with in terms of our overall, like, plan. But if our goal is... I keep clicking the wrong things. If our goal is to have a cattle farm, I mean, silage is going to be a thing. We're going to have some grass fields and stuff like that, obviously. But to start with, I think this is perfectly fine. Now, I believe the farmer's market's over here on the left side of the map, so we should be able to get all the way over there, no problem. Follow this road out there. We got this beautiful little pond right here in the middle of the map, too. I like this map, I ain't gonna lie. It is a lot of wide open space, which we're used to. Of course, we did the forestry version of the New Frontier map, but it's very similar. It's kind of a build-your-own kind of map, you know what I mean? And I like that. It's kind of like No Man's Sky on FS22. I enjoyed that as well. I just enjoy the kind of making my own thing. I'm just gonna skip this. We'll go right across the field here. Ain't nobody around to complain. There's a river there, too. I don't know if you guys noticed that. We got a big river just to the south of the property. We've got the big pond up north. Like, it's perfect. Our property is ideal. Unless, of course, it floods, in which case we're in trouble. And here we go. $3,400. Okay, that's better than I thought it would be. I'll be honest, that's better than I thought, but it's still going to take a minute. It's going to take a few months to afford a tractor. I don't know exactly how much it's going to cost us to get a tractor. Maybe we'll look that up when we get back over to the house. All right, let's take a look at the equipment that we want to think about buying. There's an old Volvo that just screams, it needs me. And if we look in the small tractors, you can see this Volvo that I'm talking about. $51,000 for this Volvo. It's not exactly cheap. There are definitely some cheaper options. I got some very old small tractors, but honestly, I just don't see them being all that useful for us. I haven't found a lot of equipment on ModHub that allows us to utilize these small tractors. I love the looks of these small tractors and would love to do like some farming and stuff utilizing them, because this is the stuff that I grew up with. Right? My grandpa had little tractors like this. We didn't have the gigantic stuff. We had these little tractors like this, these little two-wheel drive tractors that with a brush hog and stuff like that. So I'm used to these old tractors, but yeah. That being said, this Volvo is what I'm after. This thing has 140 horsepower, so it is a decent starter tractor. And this will allow us to do, some plowing and stuff like that at a decent pace. We can also get a brush hog for it and all that stuff. So this will be a good starter tractor for us, I think. But it's expensive, and it's going to take a while to earn enough to get it. All right, so sorry about the jump cut, fellas, but it just ended up being you know, something I didn't think would be all that interesting to watch me drive back and forth 100 times. But it is officially June. We have $53,000 in the bank, which means we should now be able to afford a new tractor, our first new tractor. So, with that being said, let's go check it out. We are going to be picking up our Volvo that we were talking about. This little Volvo BM. It is a four-wheel drive tractor. It's got 140 horsepower. I don't think there's a whole lot that we want to do necessarily to this thing. I think we go with the Continental tires, maybe. Or the Vredestein. Let's go with the Vredestein. As far as wheel setups, we will go with the wide tires because there's no reason not to. We will also put the big weight on there, but we're going to get rid of the fenders because I don't need to spend that kind of money. $53,600. Apparently that's too much. Okay, well, in that case, I guess... let's go with no front weight and see if we can get away with that. So $52,500 for our first piece of equipment. We are buying a brand new Volvo tractor. Let's go. That is a lot of money invested into one tractor that we're not even going to be able to use yet. Now, what is the first piece of equipment we're going to need? We're going to need some sort of a plow. So that'll be the next thing that we need to look at. So if we look into plows, I do believe we have a few options in here. And this one right here catches my eye. It is a 6-meter working width. Of course, it's a mod, but it's a 6-meter working width, and it only requires 80 horsepower, which seems to be perfect if it actually works. But this is going to cost $8,000, so that's going to cost a couple of months, essentially. That's going to be two to 3 months worth of work. And if I change this to, we don't need to change color. We're fine. So yeah, $8,000. So I guess I will see you guys in a couple of months. It's officially August, which means we've officially been here on the farm, quote unquote, for 1 year. And in that year, we have managed to buy a new tractor, and now we are about to pick up a new plow. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to grab this thing right here. We're going to go ahead and buy it. Now, the next thing that we're going to need is we're going to need some sort of brush hog, a way to pick up the grass, whether it be a trailer or a baler, like a forage trailer or a forage wagon or a baler. So let's look at that. So we're also going to need a way to seed. So let's look at our seeding options here. I'm going to go down to the modded section and see if there's anything relatively cheap. The cheapest thing that I can see from a early standpoint is this. Now this requires 150 horsepower. That's a little too much. It is a little too much for our tractor. I feel like a lot of these seeders are kind of crazy. So we might have to go with something a little bit base game here. This Great Plains 4.6 meter seeder only requires 110 horsepower. Can do all of the grains as well as grass that we could ever ask for. So I think that'll be our next step. So that's another $50,000, which we know is about 10 months, maybe 11 months, somewhere in that neighborhood. So about a year to pull that off. But that gives us plenty of time to go ahead and set up our first fields. Now again, we do have plenty of room to go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and jump into our first tractor. Take a look at this thing. Ain't that a good looking tractor, man? 4-wheel drive, nice heavy duty, small tractor. I mean, this is gonna be a good tractor for us, I think. First start up. Let's see what it looks like in here. Pretty basic in here, as you'd expect. Just a very utilitarian tractor. I like it. I like this tractor a lot already. Alright. Get her in gear. Hook her up to the new plow. Uh-oh. Gonna have to get a little bit closer to being in line than that. Alright. We can fold it up as well. Now, I do have traffic turned off on this map. There is traffic on this map, but I'll be honest with y'all. It just results in traffic jams up here. So I just like, you know what, I can't be bothered. So we're going to treat this a little bit more like No Man's Land and stuff, where we just have nobody around and we're just going to do our own thing. We'll take this down to the property and see if we can't set up our first field. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to plant anything in it. We're just laying the ground, essentially. We're breaking ground for the first time on our farm. Now, I was trying to come up with a name for the farm, and I was thinking something like Splitstone Creek or something like that, because there's that little creek that goes between the lake and the river. But I'll let you guys see what you guys think for a name for this series. Of course, last time we had Hidden Spring. Now, we own 46 and 47, which should be a decent chunk of land. Or, sorry, 36 and 37. So what I'm thinking is that we kind of start over here towards the woodland. Now, we're going to need horsepower on this property for sure. I mean, look at that slope, man. That's crazy. And this is like just the beginning of the hills. Like the whole map is like this. It's going to be kind of nuts. But we'll go ahead and allow create fields. And drop down, and we will officially be breaking ground on the farm for the first time. And we're going to bring it straight up. I know we're not taking full advantage of the entire square, but we're going to get most of it anyway. But this should allow us to make quite a large field here. And then we got to decide what we want to do with it. Do we want to make this a grassland? Do we want to make this a, you know, an actual field for cash crops? But yeah, I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do with this first field yet. Grassland kind of makes the most sense because we're going to be going for a cattle farm. We're going to need silage, we're going to need hay, we're going to need straw, all those things. Keep a little bit of a gap between the road and our field. Again, this is going to be probably a grass field to start with. Let's go ahead and cut in. I don't necessarily trust the map map, so I'm just going off of the mini map in the bottom left corner.
Had me a house, just a house and a dream. Patch of dirt out back and a garden green. Sold some veggies, sold some hope. Didn't know how far that money would go. Turns out it went just far enough to get me in trouble. Woke up early, cracked a yawn at dawn. Lettuce and tomatoes out on the lawn. Strawberries sitting in a hand-me-down crate. Took that little cash, put it all on faith. Went to town with my pockets tight. Saw that Volvo and it felt just right. 4 wheels strong, 140 horse deep. Drove it home like a king in his key. But I didn't plan, no, I didn't scheme. Ripped that ground with a rookie's dream. I plowed it too soon, Lord, I tore that land. Didn't stop to think, didn't understand. Ain't got no planter, ain't got no seed. Just sitting on dirt with nothing to feed. Just sitting on dirt with nothing to feed. Could've mowed grass, sold bells for gold, but I chased that dream, got a tractor I can't hold. No harrow, no spreader, no plan in my back, just a big old field and a wagon of track. They say lessons come hard when you don't take heed. Well, I learned mine deep in the dirt and the weed. That field don't care about my hopes or my pride. She just waits quiet for the next turn of the tide. I'll grow me some grass, get the cattle in line. Turn this busted up start into something fine. From tomatoes and dreams to 1,000 strong steer. This land will remember I started right here. Yeah, I plowed it too soon, but I ain't done yet. Gonna work that ground, sweat off the dead. Might be broke now, but this place gon' shine. Watch me raise an empire, one fence at a time. Watch me raise an empire. One fence at a time.
All right, so we just got our first field officially broken in. First field cut in, no problem. Took about an hour and a half, real time, for this equipment to make that field, which is kind of crazy, but at the same time, it's not unexpected, right? Like we kind of expect to have things take a long time at the beginning of the series, but overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and drop that down. Ooh, we almost dumped it. Would have been bad. Shut the old tractor off. Now, one of the things that you're going to notice is I also have the fuel usage all the way up. I wanted to make the game a little bit more difficult in that sense, but look at that giant field, man. Don't that look good? I love rolling hills. Like, this is home to me, right? Like, I live in the middle of nowhere, essentially. I live in town now, but I live in a very rural part of southeastern central Ohio in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. So we get a lot of this rolling hills. Not a lot of super flat land down here is what I'm saying. And so this just looks so good with these rolling fields. Like, it's going to look really good when we get that planted up. But let's go ahead and save real quick because it's been a long time since I saved last. And then we will check out the next piece of equipment we're going to need. Like I said, is probably going to be this Great Plains seeder, which is going to be about $50,000. I want to have the fertilizer unit as well, so we're looking at $55,000 for that. So that's going to take several months for us to get. But that'll be a big deal for us as well. Now, one of the things I probably should have done was just go straight into getting grass or getting a brush hog. Brush hog can't be that expensive, right? So if I go down here to grassland, look for mowers, I should have a brush hog down here at the bottom. Right here, this RDMR 300 only takes 100 horsepower to run this thing. Has a 3.4 meter working width. So not a big piece of equipment, but a perfect little brush hog that should allow us to cut grass relatively easily, and it's pretty cheap. So we could pick this up and go ahead and start mowing the grass, but we don't have a way to pick up the grass. So is there like a cheap little square baler or a cheap little round baler that might work? Like, I know this square baler here is a little bit too small. Like, I don't like these really tiny square bales, but if we can get like a decent, yeah, you can see these balers are so expensive, man. There really isn't a cheap baler. I don't think that exists. Over here we got some round balers that are relatively cheap. And we got more round bale mods than we have anything else. So we might have to look into getting one of these round balers instead. Obviously we would need some silage, so having a baler that's capable of wrapping would come in handy, but also it's not necessary, I don't think. We could just get like regular bales of grass, and then we could, I don't know, do it that way. What about a forage wagon? If we look at a forage wagon, what are we looking at? So $77,000. See, that's expensive. Yeah, that's real expensive. And the bigger ones are a little bit too much horsepower for our tractor. So if we went this route, we would be able to pick up our grass and then dump it into either a bunker silo to make silage or even a fermenting silo. I know they have some mods in there in the game for fermenting silos, so I might do something like that. That would make my job a little bit easier. But I'll let you guys decide what you guys want to see. I think that's enough for this first episode. Look at this field, man. That is a big first field. Like, that is a really big first field. Now, obviously, when we end up buying this property over this direction, we'll be able to finish this field off. I just didn't want to run into a situation where we were not on our property, because the game doesn't like that. But overall, I'm very happy with the amount that we got accomplished in this first episode. So if you guys want to see more, please let me know down in the comments below. This is going to be an ongoing series for the next indefinite amount of time. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys are enjoying this, if you're new to the channel, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be posting this series at least 3 times a week, if not more than that. I might do more episodes than that. Just depends on how quickly I can record these and get them up. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.